So hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So from today, I'll be explaining the immunology portions, what are the important topics and what is the importance of the immunity, what are the subtopics including in the immunology, different chapters, and I'll be referring the Kubi book for that one. And yeah, let's start. So for today's session, our topic of discussion will be the innate and adaptive immunity. So before going to that, I'd like to light on the immunity part. So like what is immunity? First, we have to discuss about that. So immunity is the state of protection from the infectious disease. Like nowadays we are very much of familiar to that immunity word. So this immunity is the system that is present in our body that will help to protect our body with the foreign pathogen, with the foreign infection like bacteria, virus, anything it can be. So this is the immunity definition. So this immunity term or the concepts of the immune system, so this is discovered first by the Paul Ehrlich in the year of 1900, and the selective theories is the main theory behind that. So like selective theory. So he proposed that on that theory he proposed that the cells in the blood express a specific type of side chain receptor and that will bind to an infectious agent. So it is more like a lock and key system. It is like a complementary system, you can say, like proper antigen and proper antibody binding, you can say, like proper antibody can bind with the proper antigen. So this is an like he explained as a side chain theory or the like a side chain receptor. So in that theory, later on the more theories have came and they have discovered that antigen and antibody interaction is going to happen in this immune system. So and one of the important theory, you can say, it is the clonal selection theory that is discovered in the 1950s, and different scientists developed that. You can see the name over here. And yeah, after that, like in the clonal selection theory, what they are trying to explain in the clonal selection theory, it is like when an antigen or the foreign pathogen interact with an antibody that is being expressed by a typical or a specific type of immune cells, like T cells it can be or B cells it can be. What are the T cells and what is B cells and what is macrophages cells also, we'll discuss it in later. So just now you can say like there are different defender cells present in the body that will express a specific type of antibody in it, and this antibody will help to will help to protect our body against the antigen. So this antibody will bind with that antigen, and this antibody will be attached with the cells. So when that cells containing antibody bind with that antigen, that cell will be activated, it will be proliferated, and when it is going to proliferate, it will divide more and it will express the same like antigen specific or specificity containing antibody, and the number of cells they are produced, and this number of cells we call it as a clones. So there are clones of the cells will get produced after the activation stage. So this clones of cells will act against that antigen, it will degrade that antigen, it will degrade the threat against the human body. So that's the concept of the immunity, and that is being described by this clonal selection theory. Okay, so next is you can see that immunity types and the cells or the immune responses involved in it. So first we can classify this immunity into two types, like innate immunity and the adaptive immunity. Under innate immunity, there are different kinds of mechanisms will be there that will help to protect our body. So first we can say that is the anatomic barrier, second is physiological barrier, then phagocytic, and then inflammatory barrier. On the other side, like in the adaptive immunity, there it is the humoral and the cell mediated immunity. So Now we are going to discuss each and every types and subtypes in details. So here it is the innate immune response. So, innate immune response, it is the non-specific type of immune response in our body. Like, what do you mean by non-specific? It is like the when an antigen, when an unknown foreign antigen or known foreign antigen tries to enter in our body, there are like first cell, line of defense, second line of defense in our body. It is like the skin acts as an like line of defense that will be that will comes under the anatomic barrier. So like that, so in that barriers there are number of cells, or there are typical cells present, and those cells will be will express some antibodies in it, and some cells have some granules, and these granules will have some degrading enzymes. So it is like when an foreign an antigen will try to enter our body, they have like they are encountered by the that innate immune system cells, so that cells containing antibody or the granules will be attached onto that antigen, and it will degrade that antigen, or it will try to degrade that antigen. So if that antigen in the innate immune system cannot be degraded properly, they can also act as an antigen presenting cell. So remember this term, that is APS, antigen presenting cell. So this antigen presenting cell, they will what they will do after that degradation or the primary degradation, they will take a part and they will express that part into a MHC class 2 or class 1 or MHC class 2 basically, type of receptors that is present onto their surface, cell surface. So they will express with the help of MHC class 2, and they will present that antigens to the T cells or the B cells. So after that, that antigen will be degraded and the antibody against that antigen will be produced. So these are the like innate immune system cells, that's how they work. And the some of the examples, as I can say, of that innate immune system cells, that is the macrophages, we can say, as well as the different macrophages, and this type of cells comes under this. And neutrophils, some of time neutrophils can show the phagocytic activity, so neutrophils also comes under this. So like this type of cells will comes under the innate immune response. So, there are I have already discussed that there are several subtypes of the innate immune system. You can also see here, like there are this comprises four types of barriers, like anatomic barrier, physiological barrier, phagocytic barrier, and the inflammatory barrier. So, first, what is an anatomic barrier? So, it is the first line of defense of our body that protects the body by preventing the entry of the foreign pathogens. So, as I already said, that skin our is our first line of defense. So, under the anatomic barrier, skin and the mucous membrane comes. So, if I talk about the skin, skin has two layers, as we all know, dermis and epidermis layer. So these epidermis layers are composed of the tightly packed epithelial cells, and the outer part is composed of different dead cells, waterproofing keratins. So and these dermis layers is composed of the connective tissue, blood vessels, sebaceous glands, hair follicles, sweat glands. So like, what are the uses of this? So like uh, this our skin releases sebum. Sebum is released by the sebaceous glands. So what do you do, like what is the role of that sebum? This sebum will act, it will reduce the pH of the surface of the skin. Yeah, when the pH of the surface of the skin is reduced, like it becomes acidic, it makes the skin layer acidic. So like it will be like the pH will be around 3 to 5. So this is the pH range where not all microorganisms can grow, but yeah, there is specific like the some kind of microorganisms that favor to grow in the acidic environment, except that one. like most other microorganisms, they cannot live in this environment or live in this acidic environment. So that that's by producing that sebum, they are like our skin is helping us to helping us to build our immune system very strong, or it is giving us the protection. So next is the mucous membrane. So like mucous membrane is present in the alimentary, respiratory, urogenital tract, and it is also composed of the epithelial cells. But here, if a pathogen enters the body through these cells, then it will get washed out with the help of tears or the mucus or the saliva secretion. So like we'll discuss it in more details when we are studying on the organs, different organs, or the different immune organs like primary, secondary lymphoid organs on that chapter. So just now, just remember that when a foreign pathogen enters, like if we are exposed to a pollen grains, if we are exposed to a dust, so like if the dust particles or the pollen grains tries to enter in our body through the nose, so like what will happen that time? Like we sneeze. So with that sneezing, our body is protecting us. So like when a foreign pathogen tries to enter, that mucus that is secreted by this layer, it that mucus will trap that antigen. By trapping that antigen, when that antigen is getting trapped totally, and with the help of sneezing, this total mucus, it is released through our nose when we sneeze. So that's how our body protects against the foreign pathogens. So that is the anatomic barrier of the innate immune response. So next, we are going to discuss about the physiological barriers. So, under physiological barrier, there are three factors that we have to remember. First, it is the temperature. Next, it is the pH, and third, it is the soluble factors. So, like how temperature is giving us the protection. So, in the temperature, like there are some kind of animals, or there are some kind of like as example, we can say that chicken, the hen, their body surface temperature, it is so high that is the anthrax disease cannot be able to occur. Like anthrax disease doesn't occur in the chickens or the hens because of their body temperature. So that's how this temperature protects the bodies of the individuals. Next, it is the pH. So as we all know, the our gut's pH is very low. So that, as I already said, that in the acidic pH or the in the acidic condition, there are different microorganisms that cannot be able to grow properly, or not properly cannot be able to grow. Only the acidifying or the highly those microorganisms who provides the highly acidic environment for their growth, those microorganisms can be able to survive. Otherwise, not all microorganisms are able to survive in that environment. So this is the pH. That's how it is protecting our body. So like in adults, the pH of the stomach is highly acidic in nature. The pH is not suitable for the many microorganisms, as I already said. Then the new like the acidic, more acidic will be in the adult than the newborn. So next, it is the soluble factors. In the soluble factors, containing it will contain the lysozyme, that like this lysozyme enzyme, it is also present in our tears also. So like this lysozyme enzyme, it will act on the peptidoglycan layer of the different bacterial cell wall. So like this bacterial cell wall composed of the NAG and NAM, like N-acetyl neuraminic acid, and this NAG-NAM structure that is present, the that linkage will be cleaved by that lysozyme enzyme. So when it is cleaved, the cell wall will be degraded, so that the materials inside the bacterial cell wall, it will be released outside, and the bacterial cell will ultimately, it will be degraded. So that's how that lysozyme enzyme protects our body. So now the complement, like complement, it is the most important protein in our immune system. So there are different complement pathways is also there that we are going to discuss in later. So there are different complement proteins. In the later chapters, we'll see that there are different complement pathway. This is a total complement system that will help to protect us from the foreign pathogen. Like just for now, I can say that it will help in the opsonization process, or it is helping in the formation of the membrane attack pore complex. So that in the membrane attack pore complex, the basic concept is like that it will form the pore of the in the bacterial cell wall or the foreign pathogen cell wall, that will lead to the degradation of the pathogen or the antigen. So that's how this complement system is also protecting the immune us from the infectious pathogens. So next it is the phagocytic barrier. So under that phagocytic barrier, what is this going on? Will In this phagocytic barrier, there are different kinds of microorganisms like the bacteria, virus. They can be degraded by the process of the phagocytosis. So this phagocytosis process is very important for that immunology. So in the phagocytosis process, what is happening? So macrophage cells. So as I already said, that macrophage is one of the important, or the one of the main cells that is involved in the innate immune system. So when that macrophages encounter an antigen, it will bind to that antigen, and not only bind, it will engulf that antigen. So suppose this is an antigen, and this is the macrophages. So this macrophage will engulf that antigen, and it will form a endosome. So after, and it will more like, the structure will more like a vesicle kind of structure. So after forming an endosome, when an lysosome will fuse with that endosome, and it will form a endolysosome structure. And this lysosome will release different degrading enzymes. That enzymes will try to degrade that antigen inside it, present inside it. And after that degradation, that macrophages will if it is properly degraded, or if the microorganisms is properly it turns into non toxic, then it will be exocytosed. Otherwise it will be exposed. As I already said, it can also act as an APC, that is antigen presenting cell. It will express the antigen to the MHC class 2 receptor, and it will present that antigen to the T helper cell, or the TC cell, or B cells. So these are like lymphocytes. It will present onto that, and by that the antibody will be generated, or the antibody will be produced against that specific antigen, and ultimately the antigen will be degraded. So that is how this phagocytosis process occurs, and that is about the phagocytosis process. So, and next will be the inflammatory barriers, and this from this portion will be discussing in the next lectures. So thank you for listening. If you find this is helpful, do like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and share this channel, or share this video with your friends. Thank you.